Hopper tries to explore the tunnel system the shadow monster is apparently using to spread throughout Hawkins. He is soon overcome by the choking atmosphere and the vine monsters that encircle and trap him.
Mike helps Will realize his potential to use his connection to the shadow monster to spy on its activities. He quickly detects that Hopper is in danger. Joyce recruits Bob the Brain to solve the riddle of Will's crayon map of Hawkins, and using his knowledge of local geography, comes up with an approximate location of where Hopper may be.
11 hitches a ride to her aunt's house, where her mom now lives. She visits her mother in the astral plane, where she discovers that Dr. Brenner literally stole her from her mother's womb, then drove her mother crazy with forced electroshock therapy.
Nancy and Jonathan seek out the investigator Murray and reveal the hidden truth of Hawkins, using their secret tape as evidence. Murray worries that the public will too easily dismiss their fantastic story, before hatching a plan to water down the truth with enough mundane details to make it more palatable.
Proving Murray's point, when Lucas comes clean to Max, she has trouble believing him. Dustin manages to trap Dart in his mother's storm cellar, and Joyce and Bob manage to rescue Hopper just before a containment squad, led by the not quite as certain to be evil Dr. Paul Reiser, arrives. As the men go to work on the tunnels with flamethrowers, Will screams in pain. Welcome to Dungeons and Demogorgons, the officially unofficial podcast for Stranger Things on Netflix. I'm Jim.
I'm A.Ron.
And we just got done watching Season 2, Episode 5, titled Chapter 5, Dig Dug. And as soon as I saw the title of this episode, I made a connection that I obviously should have made earlier. The comparison of Dig Dug to what the hell's happening underground in Hawkins.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's been out there in plain sight, and
it's so good.
And it's like, I mean, it's like, you know, are we going to see inflatable Demogorgons? Are we going to see stones dropped on Demogorgons? Or Demogorgons going to be able to turn into frowny faces and phase through dirt? Like,
how many cherries are down there, do you think?
I don't know. And that's the thing. Like, just when we thought we were out of the realm of kid logic, it's just D&D. The world can't all relate to D&D. It's also shit from Namco.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
we got to get to Dig Dug, and next year, Yar's Revenge. Man, it's another great episode. Like, I'm on pins and needles because, like, I feel like Sheriff Hopper could have died this episode. Yeah. I'm like, well, shit, he's filming Hellboy. Maybe he's like going to be too busy for this shit now going forward. But I'm scared to death for everybody. I'm also questioning whether Paul Reiser's a bad guy.
Oh, no.
Maybe he's just an arrogant. Maybe he's just arrogant.
Come
he thought
on,
his containment had everything under wraps. I mean,
no, you stay strong. Stay strong, Dr. Paul. This is what Dr. Paul Reiser does.
I know.
He lures you in with his phony niceties.
He's got a smarmy charm, and then I lower my guard and he sucker punches me.
Yeah. It's coming. Just wait for it.
All right. But the thing is like, I didn't think he was even doing research, but those guys in the lab are making dirt tornadoes. That's something.
Yeah.
They come up and show. So now I'm wondering if it's going to be one of those things where, like, he's not evil. He's kind of like the research scientists in E.T., not care. Like, you know, they got to do their job, and Elliot's connected, and it's killing them both. But, you know, I
don't know how he's less informed than, well, I do know how he's less informed than the people who are exploring the tunnels. He doesn't have a will. That's his fault, you know? He doesn't have a will. Yeah, he needs a will.
They need to stop wearing these containment suits, just traipse around the tunnel, breathing God knows what. Like, Hopper's going to come away from this experience changed. Like, you can't...
I assume he's going to... Well, okay, so I think what happened with Will... and the baby Demogorgon is that tube that went down his throat, right? Implanted him. So
yeah, but like, what is those spores?
Not that,
what are those spores doing? They explode.
I don't know. That's
seem
entirely
like
new.
They seem like they only pop right when like a human's nearby, and or you know, maybe it's like those bathroom sprays. You only notice it when it like sprays right by your
in
face.
your mouth.
Yeah. So. I don't know, but like he had this like primitive mask he made from his sleeve, and then he stopped wearing it, and you know, discovering that these things are weak to fire. It's a great damn episode.
Yeah, it was awesome, and the stuff with Elle and her mother, and discovering the backstory there.
Really grim.
Yeah, no, it was not fun to watch, I'd say, but it was great.
And like, when she's saying she's like stuck in a dream, and Elle's like, good dream, and then we find out it's like she's just literally reliving the most horrifying parts in her life over and over and over again. And I loved how, Because I was trying to think like how they'd put those words in context, but it makes perfect sense once you see the thing.
Yeah, and that was, a big question I had coming away from last episode.
And
Boom,
they
answered again.
Right away. But they keep on, like, things keep getting bigger. Like, okay, how is Dustin going to contain this thing? And he had the hilarious Pac-Man style baloney trap.
Right.
Within, he's got all arm. He's got his, like, I think it's half hockey pads, a half catcher's equipment. And they had the thing where, like, it went right until it didn't. And then, like, oh, shit, Dustin could die here. But
yeah, but he handles it.
Yeah, he was able to use
pretty well.
Use good stick work. He cleared that baby Demogorgon right into the storm cellar.
Which I got to say, I'm surprised that he was that good with the stick. Like, Indiana boys are not good with hockey sticks.
Okay, but here's the thing. Big hint to where Hawkins is. It's somewhere where the Tippecanoe River runs through it, which means it's in the extreme north third of Indiana.
So maybe you're getting into hockey territory.
I think you're getting into hockey territory. They have some legit bobsled runs, and
all I'm saying is he probably should have thrown a basketball at it.
Yeah. The other thing about Dustin, he's a little sociopath.
He sure is.
He just lies to his mother like it's water running off of Dustin's back. I'm don't know what I feel. I don't know how I feel about Dustin now.
Yeah, she seems pretty gullible too.
It's one thing to run scams on librarians and Mr. Clark, but lying to your mom like that about the family pet, and how like he's like comes across as like maybe he's gone around the block with Rick from Rick and Morty a few times. Like, yeah, just got to he's got a future in Hawken Labs is what I'm saying
for sure.
Like it's clean. Contain, clean, and hold a monopoly on the truth.
So we talked last episode, speaking of this Demogorgon stuff, about whether or not this Demogorgon has light sensitivity. Apparently that's not the case. So,
yeah, it comes right out in the sunlight.
Right, comes right out in the sunlight. My only conclusion from that can be it's so cold outside that it doesn't matter. It's not enough heat to bother it.
Or it was more sensitive in its larval phase.
Potentially, yeah.
Like it was so sensitive to heat at then that like even a hot lamp. Because that's the other thing. It's like it wasn't just a normal light. It was like the heat lamp for his turtle.
Yeah.
Which, my son got into lizard farming, or lizard keeping this, and those pretty fucking hot bulbs.
They are.
From that far away.
Yeah, but I think they also put like a desk lamp on it in the school.
That's true. That's
true. And it recoiled in the same way.
Was that one of those weird magnifying lights, though? Because I felt like that was an AV club, and that was like something used to solder, so maybe it's...
Could be.
But yeah, there's a couple theories there. Like you said, it's either gotten cold enough that it doesn't matter,
or it's just immune in this state.
Yeah.
Which would be totally possible, because it's getting more powerful, obviously.
Did you think we would try to kill Dustin?
Yes. Because it seems to be highly intelligent.
Yeah.
It realized that this was a trap.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned on him.
I didn't know that it realized it was a trap. I thought he just detected that Dustin was watching him or heard him in the shed or something.
Yeah, it hesitates at the doorway of the cellar, so I assumed it realized it was a trap.
Maybe, or it was a dead end.
Yeah.
This thing is like, even like regardless, it just ate a shit ton of bologna. Mm-hmm. It's trapped there in the dark, and I think it now has good reason to fear and mistrust Dustin. So I don't think my friendly Demogorgon is going to be a plot in this season.
And I think Dustin knows that, and he goes to Steve and gets the bat, which I thought was awesome. It's
we don't
in the
have
trailers
the bat yet. Yeah. Right.
It's in the trailer for this season. Steve definitely still has the bat, and he asks if he still has it, and Steve's like, "What? Why?"
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Dustin's the man. He's like, just like, I'm riding shotgun. You don't know it yet, but you're going to take me, and we're going to get this bat. And
yeah, he's solving problems. He's very similar to the way Joyce acts in this episode.
Yeah,
because let's talk about that. They realize, okay, Will is drawing something here that maps to the map he's already drawn, and they find the X. And then they don't know what to make of it. And Bob comes over and they go, oh, maybe we should let Bob the Brain in on it.
Yeah.
And they do, and he figures it out, and they go find the tunnels.
I honestly have a minor problem with how easily these connections are being made. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that Joyce is able to look at 3 or 4 of these, like, oh, wait, and start assembling them into this tunnel map. And you know, the Bob the Brain figuring out this geography based on these scribbles, but so far there's not been an ounce of narrative fat on this series.
Yeah.
So if it's a tight 9 episodes, then I'll be like, okay, it would have maybe been better if they struggled that for a little bit, but there just literally wasn't time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a rare Netflix series that should have been 10 episodes instead of not. Like they cut too close to the bone.
I don't know.
The fat's where all the flavor's at, Duffer Brothers.
I mean, he's Bob the Brain. We just got to lean into it, I guess.
Joyce and Hopper are not big brain people, I don't think.
No.
And they piece that shit together pretty damn quick.
Hopper's all right. He's got like a medium-sized brain. I think Joyce has like the worrying brain.
The worrying brain, yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah, I mean,
Bob's
they're not dumb, but
brain.
like, you know,
No.
like Bob and Dr. Clark are the smart. And the kids too. The kids are all real smart.
Yeah, they are. There's one moment with Bob the Brain that I absolutely love, which is when they point out the X to him and he says, "What's at the X? Pirate treasure?"
Yeah.
Which is just an awesome overt callback to the Goonies.
Sure.
Like, you can't get something more awesome
Sure,
than that.
that's in like his face kind of lit up when he said it.
Yeah.
Fucking fan service. And again, I've fallen in even more love with Bob because he's just a trooper. He's just rolling.
He
like,
is.
You're just going to get in the hole, and then he helps her lower down, and then he jumps down there with her, and they save Hopper, and Hopper's like, "Hey Bob, hey Jim," like It's so funny. It's so funny, and I love Bob so much. And now I'm almost certain that he's not working with the possibly not quite as certainly evil Dr. Paul Reiser.
Yeah, he shows up too, and he kind of saves the day.
Yeah.
He's got the flamethrower guy down there.
Although that's not... Again, this guy who's playing Will Breyer, I'm finally going to look up his... I'm going to look up some of these guys' names. How do you get the performance out of a kid that he gives at the end of this episode?
Oh, the shake and screaming.
I mean, just like, yeah, like, and he's doing it's Noah Schnapp. Awesome name, Noah. He's got like this fucking crazy ass look on his face with his lips like peeling off of his skull as he's twitching the whole thing, and his like eyes are focusing different. It's horrifying.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as the previous one where he gets
where he's getting filled up with he took all of the monster.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I feel so fucking bad for this kid. Like,
this
poor
is
Will.
the passion of Will Byers this season.
Yeah. Both seasons.
Yeah, you're right.
Both seasons. He has been out of commission with this Demogorgon shit.
We didn't see the suffering as much last season, but oh my God, he's really paying for it.
I was worried he wasn't going to get to go on this adventure with his friends because he'd be at the hospital, but he's on an adventure all right.
Yeah.
Just
maybe
not a fun one.
Yeah, he needs a cast Circle of Protection or whatever.
There's another great reference when they're in the tunnels that I noticed, which is Hopper goes back for his hat, very much like Indiana Jones before they start burning the tentacles.
Yeah, no, it's the 80s touches they keep putting on this is really cool. Speaking of 80s touch, we talked about the KFC Kentucky Fried Chicken kerfuffle, which now I understand that it wasn't the packaging, it's the person referring to it as KFC. But I think
everybody did.
People can call it Kentucky Fried Chicken KFC for a while, so I don't think
which is easier to say, KFC,
it's just
let's go to KFC, or let's go to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's the same thing like Federal Express went to FedEx years after everyone started calling it FedEx. So you have a long-ass name, and, if like, like Bamo. Bald Move is a longer name, it might get shortened to Bamo.
Yeah.
Or so, yeah, like when people do that shit with towns, Soho and Sobro and Tahoe,
San Fran,
all that stuff. Where were we going with that?
I don't know.
KFC. They had the Hardee's cup, the old school 80s, slightly retro Hardee's font before it got Carl Junior-fied.
Oh right, yeah.
That was a transition from Burger Chef, I think. At least that's what it was in Indiana.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I don't remember that stuff. That was
I was
like 2 years old.
Yeah, I was like 6 or 7 when the Burger Chefs got took over by Hardee's, and that's exactly what the cups looked like.
Huh. There were like chemicals under the sink that had 80s looking labels and all kinds of stuff.
I like so the stuff with Lucas and Max.
Yeah.
And it seems like maybe they'll become the item because Dustin's bowed out with his D'Artagnan plot lines. But it's interesting. Like, he goes to his dad for advice on how do you make mom mad when she's mad at you, or not make her mad when she's mad at you. And he's like, well, you got to apologize. And he says, even when she's wrong, she's never wrong. Like, okay, well, patriarchy spreads to yet another generation. But he tries to apply that with Max with mixed results. And I mean, it totally makes sense that she doesn't believe him.
Yeah.
Because they've been essentially fucking with her this entire school year, and then the guy comes clean, and it's just this crazy ass story.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. And had these kids and the people of this town not been through it, they wouldn't believe it. I mean, so many of them didn't before, you know. This dude at the arcade.
I thought you'd want to talk about him.
I can't. This guy
can't even.
It's beyond can't even. It's beyond. I mean, the wink that he gives Max on the. Did I not call it episode 1 when I saw this guy?
No,
he would definitely go on a date with Max.
Totally.
It's really disturbing.
I think he wants to date Nancy, but if no one was looking, he would totally try it with Max.
He would.
He also, like, they actually showed he put the yellow finger, the orange covered fingers right in the camera face. It's just so like yeah, no, there was one of the, I'm not gonna tell that story. It's too gross.
Okay.
Like, if you can eat Cheetos, fine. Just don't fucking touch equipment and doorknobs and people with that Cheeto dust. Like, you can feel it on your fingers.
Yeah.
You know,
and it gets sticky
it's just really nasty. Go wash your hands or wear gloves or something. Like, it's like he's just touching
Cheetos
shit.
Gloves.
I'm thinking, like, all those joysticks have like caked on orange residue. Yeah, that's probably why turns out the Dig Dug machine was not even broken.
No,
that's probably what happened to the circuit board.
Nope, it's all.
They're not rated to get that many parts per million in Cheeto dust.
Yep,
before they just fly apart.
It's funny to me because Max comes out hearing the story, which is essentially the plot of season 1.
Yep, and
she thinks it's funny but stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, she thinks Stranger Things season 1 is funny but stupid.
Some is awfully derivative.
Yeah. Pretty good. I thought that was some interestingly incisive commentary from the writers.
Oh, there's some really good stuff is like Nancy and Mike's dad did some pretty good work here. When Dustin shows up wanting to know, it's like, our children don't live anymore. Haven't you heard?
Yeah.
And Dustin's like, son of a bitch, language.
Yeah, this guy too. Just so many characters.
Yeah. He's kind of like a nerdier version of the dad from the Wonder Years.
Okay.
He just really emotionally kind of checked out and just like, hey, man, I go to work, I bring home a paycheck. What else do you want from me?
Yeah. And he's letting the mom raise the kids.
Yep. I just, again, what do you want me to write a check? What do you want?
And then we haven't talked about Nancy and
oh yes,
Nancy and Steve. We have talked about Steve. Jonathan.
Yeah.
They go to Murray and they say
we got a story together because they're heading all the way up to Chicago.
They did, yeah. It doesn't go well. I wouldn't say.
Nancy was going on a little. She was baiting the hook for trying to catch Jonathan's.
Yeah, but then he wriggled free.
And that's the thing. Like, I kind of like Nancy less because she's like, well, why did we run out of touch? She's like, well, Will really needed me. You know, he got fucking abducted to a goddamn alien dimension. And she's like, well, I waited. And he goes, yeah, a month. Which, again, I get it. Super long for a teenager. But when your brother is fucking, probably having night terrors on the regular because of the horrifying experience he went through. Like, you think you're fucked up because your best friend got eaten by a swimming pool? He lived it.
Yeah.
And then she's, I don't know. It's like I said, it's authentic teenage flavored relationship.
Yep.
And as frustrating and maddening as those tend to be.
Yeah, and then they go to the conspiracy theory guy, and they blow his fucking mind.
Yeah, I like this Murray guy.
Yeah, he seems to be, they set him up as the lunatic, right? Who's coming in, spouting a bunch of shit about Russian spies.
Yup.
In the first episode. But we knew there was something to it at the beginning. We know he's onto something. And here he comes off even better, I think. He understands how the system works, and he's going to guide these, what he calls naive, rightfully, kids, kind of through the waters of political, I don't know, political manipulation of people.
But he's right on. Like, that's,
he is, yeah.
Like, people... If you first of all, it's so hard to present people with a new idea that doesn't jibe with their worldview. Mm-hmm. If they do, the 10% of the population just won't outright dismiss it. Will go and find the first source that says, "Don't worry about it, you're still right," and like, aha, they won't then go back and check. Like, it's exhausting shuffling through until you get to the bottom of what is like bedrock truth. Right. Most people don't try. That's, they're busy with their lives and they don't give a shit. And that's that's a fact. He knows that Nancy, as an idealistic teenager, just thinks, oh, you just have to, you get a platform that's high enough and a spotlight bright enough, and you shine it on the facts and elevate them to public discourse, and everyone just falls in line. Oh, if only it were true.
Yeah, I wonder if they're at the point where video evidence would do them some good. Like, if technologically people would understand that you can't really recreate these kind of things with special effects yet.
It's just swamp gas reflected off a Mylar balloon.
I mean, if you're getting shots of demons in the sky and portals, like, I think at some point they're going to have to break into Hawkins' lab with that JVC
yeah,
and film the portal.
Yeah.
Like, go through to the other side, film it all, and come back.
But, I mean, do we have an alien autopsy that exists in our world? And yet, rightly so, we rejected that as evidence that there's alien. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jonathan Frakes did, like, the command. No less a personage than Commander Riker himself did a whole documentary on this thing, and turns out it's all bullshit.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen the alien autopsy?
I have not seen Jonathan Frakes hosted Alien Autopsy.
If it sounds like a good time, it's a fucking amazing time.
We should live watch it.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. But, like, I'm just saying that, like, someone will always be ready to dismiss anything.
Sure.
So their idea is to... I mean, that's the thing, like, okay, so how do you get... So knowing this about humans, how do you fucking influence people? And it turns out you have to tell lies and half-truths to guide them and manipulate them into the direction you want. It's a pretty pessimistic view of human nature, but...
Yeah, but it's not necessarily inaccurate.
Yeah, it's not like it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. We'll see where that story goes. I don't know what the next step is for them, other than, I think at some point, video evidence.
Yeah, well, and they've, like this, we got Chekhov's camcorder.
Yeah.
Like that will, you think it's banged up now, Bob?
Yeah, we have seen the lesser fulfillment of Chekhov's camcorder, but not the greater.
Not the greater fulfillment.
It's coming.
That was just a foregleam of what we're eventually going to see. Man, this was just a really dense episode. It was a struggle to get everything into the recap that we do. Did we miss anything? Billy,
I don't know.
How many tires do you think Billy goes through in an average year?
4. Like,
that thing, he is stop sign to red line and back every time he gets in that car.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tires. I hope you got a punch card at the tire barn.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for Max at this point because he seems to I don't know. He seems dangerous, and I think it was very ominous when he said, "We know what happens when you lie."
Mm.
I don't like the sound of that.
Right. Yeah, I wonder. They're building up the home life to be a mystery. I bet it's going to be fucked up whenever we find out what it is.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm worried about is 11, because we already found out from her aunt that, I guess we're calling her aunt. Her aunt.
Yeah.
That the police. Oh, no, she was okay. I finally decoded what she said. I thought she said a year ago the Hawkins lab people were poking around to see if Elle was hiding out there. But what she really said was that Hopper and Joyce went to visit her last year.
Yeah, a cop and a
Okay,
woman.
so do you think she's safe at that location? It feels like Hawkins'
like
lab is just, and who would know about that other than Dr. Brenner in the first place?
Right.
I don't know. Like, all those records might be gone.
Yeah, they might be gone, or I don't know. They might exist. They were very clearly monitoring Joyce still because they showed up at the hole.
Do you think, I wonder now that Hopper's being rescued and we got all the adults in one room and all of the...
No, they didn't show up at the hole because of that. They showed up at the hole because of the soil sample?
Yes.
That's where that was taken from? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. We've got Hopper and the adults and Paul Reiser and all the scientists in one room / hole now. I wonder if we're going to get finally we're going to get a little bit of backstory on what Hopper's been doing with those people to try to make the world safe for Elle.
Yeah,
because that's the other big mystery that's been since the end of last season. Why did that black car pick him up? What has he been doing with them? What has he been trying to do this whole last year?
I think
it's time to get some answers. Yeah, but he's making promises to Elle that like this is temporary, and if I can just get the right deal cut, like I want to know more about what he's doing with Hawkins' lab, because he's also like, one of his duties is to keep the truth suppressed throughout the town and keep carry their water.
Yeah.
And then they keep the shit out of the town, but there's got to be more to it than that. So that's one of the big mysteries that they have kind of been teasing that hasn't gotten any kind of resolution this season yet. So it's starting to stick out for that reason, because everything else is just being like bam, 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 bam.
I don't know what else I have to say about this episode. Thought it was great.
What do you have to say about
get to the next one?
Send it in to strangerthings@baldmove.com. Again, we have show threads for every one of the episodes over on our forums at forums.baldmove.com, so you can discuss at your own pace, stay spoiler free. We got one more episode to do today. We might do some light feedback after that. 3 more tomorrow, and then we'll have the season 2 wrap up. So send the feedback in for that. Follow along our marathon at social media. Search for Bald Move. You can also subscribe to our feed or just check out baldmove.com throughout the day to see when the latest episodes are dropping. Man, I hope you're digging this as much as we are. Let's get back to it.